when I was younger, as a baby, I was born prematurely. I had to spend several months in an incubator, and my mom was scared, and my dad, he really wasn't around one, and so I grew up without a father, but I still had my grandmother, which is great because we used to do a lot of fun things. She was an elementary school teacher, so we would play lots of games. And as I got older and got into school, I noticed I wasn't as fast as the other kids. I wasn't catching on to like the alphabet and stuff. And so my mom and grandma had me tested, and they diagnosed me with dyslexia and ADHD, which at the time I was young and just hyper, and so I grew out of that. So from there they put me in special classes in school, which I was not really a fan of because I was made fun of a lot. And it also is still really hard not being on the same reading level with everyone else. But I got older and I made a few friends. I was never really good at making friends though, because it was just hard. I've always been socially awkward, and before, like, if like now you meet me, I'll talk to you and stuff, but before, like, I would say hi and that was it. You wouldn't get anything out of me for a long time, and some places I wouldn't talk for a year or so, and it was like I wasn't even there with people. And so making friends wasn't my strong suit. Before I got into high school, my mom, she was reading a lot of books on autism, and so she read a book, and she went and she took me to get diagnosed again with Asperger's, which that at the time I was like, great, and something else to make my life harder. And it was hard because it was hard dealing with that and realizing that some of the things that I did weren't like everyone else. Like I remember in elementary school because I went to a private school part of the time, I remember that not all that I hardly had any friends for the 6 years I was at that private school, and one reason was because my family wasn't the religion that the church that did the school was, so it made it really weird and awkward. But also, I really, really like movies, and so I would talk about them and I would obsess over them, and they really hated that because, one, at the church it was like going to a bar to go to a movie house. Two, no one likes movies as much as I do, and I was deemed the odd kid that no one wanted to hang around, and it hurt, but it also helped me to decide that I want to be a movie maker when I get older. So I went as that, but the more I actually thought about it, the more I realized that I'd probably be great doing that, because as much as I love acting, I love watching the movies and telling stories more, and so I get to do both with that. With the Asperger's in high school, it was hard because my mom got me several books on people that had Asperger's, like Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, more people. I'm still not sure if Tom Hanks has Asperger's or not, because my mom was showing me all these books and stuff, and I really did not want to accept that I had it, because it made me more of the weird kid that no one wanted to hang around rather than I'm just like everyone else. I got put in the high school sped class, which again I've never been a fan of that, so I've never liked that. And the teachers, they're not like the other teachers. The other teachers have you work hard and they treat you like everyone else, but the sped teachers, they know, it seems like that the more people that know, the more different they're going to treat you. So I never liked that, because they would treat me like I was just some dumb kid that was there. But I was really weird my freshman year, and I didn't have a lot of friends, and I was really awkward. And that year was the year my mom, she got pregnant with a little brother, and he ended up passing away later that year, and it really hurt. And it, like, that mixed with all the other problems I was going through, like there was a point where I got like really low, and I didn't want to do anything else. I wanted everything to end right there. After he died, I didn't want my sisters or anyone to think that I was weak, and I wanted them to look at me as the big brother that was handling things, and that knew how to handle things. But I didn't. I didn't know how to handle things at all, and I was scared. I remember waiting till everyone was asleep at night to just sit there and cry myself to sleep, because it hurt so bad. And I got involved with a church, ended up joining the church for a while, and that's when God made a difference, and it felt that He wanted me to be alive for something. I didn't know what yet. And I didn't know what, and it irritated the heck out of me, because I don't like not knowing. I like to know the whole story, but God doesn't work like that. He gives you little pictures at a time. So I kept going, and life got better, and on through high school, me and my friend I met at the youth group became close, and actually he's my best friend now. He still comes over to my house, eats my food, and we go and hang out occasionally. When we're upset, we talk to each other, and he's like my little brother, and I think he's the main reason why God needed me, because I've totally seen him change since I met him, and I've changed too since I've met him. When I flip my car, usually people thrash around in the car when it's flipped, and I felt like I was being held down to my seat when it happened. And so I thank God for that, because I could have died, and that was His way of showing me that no, you're not done yet. He's just really changed my life, and I don't look at the Asperger's and the dyslexia as a bad thing now, because there's a lot of things in my life that the Asperger's makes hard, and so does the dyslexia. But also there's a lot of things that makes it good, because I wouldn't know this much about movies, and I like to be reminded of how God told me, or how He reminded me that there is a purpose for me. Semester, I was looking for a monologue to do for our school theater. He had me randomly find a monologue that Tom Hanks' character from The Castaway gives at the end of the film, talking about how he went to the top of the mountain to hang himself, but all of a sudden he felt a warm feeling, and he knew that he had to stay alive for whatever reason, and that no matter how bad times get, he knows he just has to keep breathing, because like he says in the movie, who knows what the tide will bring tomorrow. So that really means a lot when God does things like that, because it reminds me of where I was and where I've came to now. I feel God really wants me to lead a bunch of people, and a few years ago when if he had told me this, I would have said no way. But now I do see myself as more of a leader than I had ever thought I would be, because before I wouldn't talk, and now I'm speaking. My name is Ty, and this is my story. Is it your story?